Hi everyone and welcome to Newegg TV. My name is Paul and today we're going to be doing an unboxing and overview of this case. This is a Rosewill Challenger. This is the USB 3.0 version and specifically the model is Challenger-U3. So let's start off and take it out of the box. Here's the case itself, covered in plastic of course. Let me just get some of this stuff off so you guys can get a better look. It has a glossy black finish on the front bezel here, as you can see. It does come with a Rosewill Challenger user's manual, which gives you an exploded view of the case as well as connectors and some basic installation guidelines. Up here at the top of the case we can see our power and reset buttons. We also have an eSATA port, two USB 3.0 ports, a mic and headphone jack, as well as an activity light. Below that we can see our three exposed 5¼ inch bays. There's actually an additional fourth 5¼ inch bay right behind this panel that you can use internally. We also have two exposed 3.5 inch bays right there, and again this whole front cover is covered in mesh, which allows for air to flow through. And then behind this port right here we have a 120mm intake fan, and that has a blue LED light. Let's take a quick look at this side of the case. This is the right side, and typically this is where cable management happens. It is using plastic capped black thumb screws to keep this side panel on. I just pop it off and we can see here there is a bit of a gap here but behind the motherboard tray to allow for cable management. We can see the reverse side of our 5¼ inch bays that do have a toolless securing mechanism. Here's some accessories which we're going to set aside for later. Looks like there's one tray currently installed in your 3.5 inch bay slots. We also have some gaps here on the motherboard tray that allow for, again, routing cables from your motherboard power supply up the side, and lots of tie-down points so you can tie those cables down and get them nice and secure. Also a nice big cutout here for your aftermarket CPU heatsink fan, and you will notice that the entire interior is painted black. Here at the back of the case we can see a couple grommets here for routing cables or water cooling hoses. Knockout here for your input-output shield, a 120mm exhaust fan that's already installed, 2, 4, 6, 7 PCI Express expansion bays, and all the covers for those are mesh, so they do allow for additional airflow, and the power supply mount down there at the bottom. And that is going to complete our 360 rotational view, at least for the time being, and we're going to take a little bit more time and go into this left side panel. But you will notice that there are several mounting points here for what looks to be 120mm or smaller fans. And before we jump into the inside of the case, a quick look at the top here. We can see a single exhaust fan. It's currently pre-installed with a 140mm exhaust fan. Also has mounts for a 120mm fan there. As long as we looked at the top, we might as well take a look at the bottom. Here we can see our standoff feet that will allow for some airflow underneath the case, and we also have a removable filter there for your power supply's fan intake. And now let's pop off the left side panel here to take a look at the interior. I would like to say that you don't get the most rigid construction with these mid-tier cases, but they have done a great job with the painting. It's very well painted all throughout the inside, and this is rolled steel that the chassis is made of, and all the edges are rolled. There's really no sharp or exposed edges throughout this case. So nice that they've paid attention to detail in that area. Here's a look once again at the inside. Down there at the bottom you can see your power supply mount. There are a few rubber feet there that it mounts on top of to give a little bit more clearance as well as reduce vibration. As far as our fans that come pre-installed, again there's the 120 at the back, 140 at the top, and there's another, well, yes, a 140 LED fan here at the front. So you got a 3-pin header for the one on the back, and the front and top 140s have Molex pass-throughs. Also here you have your front panel connectors, so standard HD audio as well as those power reset switches. You have a single serial ATA plug, that's for your eSATA port. And since, again, this is the USB 3.0 edition, we have an internal 20-pin USB 3.0 header to enable those two USB 3.0 ports on the front of the case. Here's another look at the toolless mounting system for your 5¼ inch bays. It's pretty much just a twist off with a couple pins that pass through there to secure your 5¼ inch drives. Pretty basic system. Again, there in the middle, apart from your 4 5¼ inch drives, in the middle you have a couple 3.5 inch drive bays. Down here you have your 3.5 inch standard drive bays. These, again, will be exposed to the front. The ones on the bottom are not. It does come with one tray here for what looks to be, yes, you can mount two 2.5-inch drives onto this tray. So if you're going to go with a couple SSDs or 3.5-inch mechanical drives, one mounts to the bottom and one slides onto the top, mounts from the side. And this comes with rails here, so I can give you a quick demo of the rail mounting system. Same way it would work with a 3.5-inch drive, just a basic rail that snaps onto the side of the drive. Add the rail there, and then you simply slide it into place, and it locks just like that. And finally, here's a look at the accessories included. You do get a little baggie of motherboard standoffs, as well as mounting screws for the motherboard, as well as for the other drives if you want to secure them manually with screws. You do get this little guy, which I like these because they allow you to really torque in your motherboard mounts, your standoffs there, to make sure they don't back out if you ever uninstall your motherboard. It's just a little hex adapter there that will allow you to use a Phillips head for that purpose. You also get a little speaker for your motherboard, and then finally you get your rails for the 3.5-inch mounting system here. 2, 4, 6, 8 of them, allowing for 10 of them total, and 5 total 3.5-inch drives that you can mount right there. And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Once again, this has been the Rosewill CHALLENGER-U3 USB 3.0 mid-tower computer case. I'm Paul with Newegg TV. If you enjoyed today's video, please head over to our Newegg YouTube channel and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.